Oh, I fucking hate Mondays. What takes him so long? The comms should have been open by now. I need to contact that bloody marine from USM Valor. Engineer, do you copy? What's the situation up there? The comms should have been open like 30 minutes ago.
They're gonna be open in a second, just dealing with a slug problem, real quick.
Alright, good. Let me know when it's opened. I need to contact that soldier from the USM Valor.
It's gone. Comms should be open. Hail them.
USM Valor, this is Helios Max aboard the USG Shimura. Do you copy?
Yeah, copy, but kind of dealing with something at the moment. We've found an escape pod, opened it up, and now whatever was inside, it's now killing the crew.
Well, that's a bit awkward. Well, not my problem.
What the hell is that? Oh no. Oh shit!
That's weird. An impact on the ship. I thought I fixed all the AD's cannon. Maybe Engineer will know. Hey, Engineer, do you copy? Any idea what was that impact? Engineer? Engineer, do you copy?
Oh, no. That was just the ship hitting the ship.
What the bloody hell are you talking about? Ship hitting ship? Okay. Hold on, Engineer. British, do you copy? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I got good news, and I've got bad news for you. Which one do you want?
If it's going to be about that I crashed into the ship, I don't want to hear it. I don't know how you ended up floating in space, and I don't care. So get your floating sorry ass up here on crew deck. We'll meet up in 30 minutes. Engineer, this goes the same to you.
Copy that, Chief. Heading your way now.
Well, before he comes, I'm gonna grab that shock point drive that I need for the shuttle, so I don't think he's gonna miss it. Ooh, there you are. Yoink. Okay. I think I should return to the ship. I do hope those two are getting along.
I said park next to the ship next time, not into the ship, okay? Do you have any idea how long this is gonna take me to fix, okay? I got tickets to the Zero-G basketball game this weekend.
Yeah, well, sorry, but who the hell puts a live monster inside of a escape pod? Christ, it's like you're trying to kill somebody.
Oh, there you are. Did I interrupt or something?
What the hell do you have in your hand there?
Oh, nothing. This is just a smoothie that I got from the Sun kiosk.
Okay, kind of looked a little bit like it was part of my ship. Let's get this over and done with. I need to get back to the sprawl. They have some business for me, something to do with going to somewhere to collect shards or something like that.
Right, we're gonna meet Helios down at the pub. First round's on you.
Why me?
Because you crashed your ship into my ship. That's why.
Yeah, but you sent an escape pod.
Oh, so that's what happened to my girlfriend. Shit. Well, I'm not gonna mention that detail to them, so...
It should be you buying first.
Well, gentlemen, let's discuss about Dead Space Remake, shall we? So, how's it going everyone? My name is Elias. I've started my Dead Space experience when my uncle couldn't pass the ADS Canon section of Chapter 4, and since then I've started to make videos, getting along with the community, and now I'm the so-called debug king of necroposting.
I am the engineer. I started playing Dead Space back in 2009 when it first dropped, and I fell in love with the series after numerous pissing of my pants, and now I make subpar memes and dementia-riddled content for YouTube. Yeah, that's me.
Hey, what's up? It's the British Runner here, and I started playing Dead Space. Well, I didn't start until probably just before Dead Space 2 was about to come out. I watched my friend play it mostly through 2009 and 2010. And yeah, the reason I started playing Dead Space 1 was to get more in depth with the lore of it all. And yeah, I guess you could say my first full-blown game was Dead Space 2, but I did start with Dead Space 1. I was a speedrunner for Dead Space, but now I just mainly cover the lore and the timeline of the whole universe.
Well, I have a question for you guys. What made you start your YouTube channel and make it Dead Space related content? I mean, what was the decision or moment that made you do that?
Sorry, that's my drink.
Oh, that literally killed me.
I will. I go first. I joined the Facebook group like 3 or 4 years ago, and I got into contact with Brody, the group creator, and I was like, "You guys need an admin?" He said, "No, not right now." And then he hit me up like I think literally a month later and was like, "Hey, we need an admin." And then I saw all the stuff that he was making, and I was like, I would love to be able to do that for something I love so much. So here I am. I think I can't. Last time I checked, I think I had 402 videos up, and a good chunk of those are just, as I said, subpar memes. But that's pretty much what got me into making Dead Space content, playthroughs, and memes and stuff.
I mean, most of those are from the community, I suppose, right? From both Facebook and Discord.
A lot of them, yeah, a lot of them are from the server or the or the Facebook group, and they're labeled. They're usually labeled as such. When it's an original, it usually means that somebody's uploaded it and allowed me to upload it with permission. And I usually add people's names in the credits in the description if they're still members of the server or the group. But yeah, like I probably I wouldn't have I wouldn't have a channel without the server or the Facebook group. So I'm eternally thankful for everybody who's been giving me content and giving me ideas these past couple of years.
And what about you, British?
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
No, I mean, what about you, British? What made you start your YouTube channel?
Oh, okay. What started made? Well, I've been around on YouTube for about probably about 11 years now, sort of thing. I did start with back in the day of when trolling was the biggest thing in Call of Duty. But after the downfall of trolling, because Xbox decided to implement a new sort of thing into its software where most people just hide and party chat.
Alex.
But like afterwards, I got into the first thing was I wanted to start speedrunning because I thought like I looked at the leaderboard and I was like 2 hours and 36 minutes. Really, I could definitely beat that because when I was on the job center collecting dole money, I actually went on a bit of an achievement hunt, and in Dead Space you can't get every single achievement in one playthrough. You had to go through multiple ones. So I thought, well, I've definitely beaten the game in under 2 hours before. At least I thought so, in a way, due to my memory. But I started playing it and did the speed runs. And eventually, after I think it was about after 3 months of practicing and doing that, I actually beat the world record for Dead Space on speedrun.com. And then I eventually beat the one that everyone says is the world record from ex Maverick Hunter.
Oh, I remember.
Later on,
I think the first video I
yeah.
watched from you was about Maverick, in which you exposed him of cheating.
Ooh.
Technically, I didn't really expose him for cheating. It was my own opinion because of
Yeah,
certain
but on the
things.
section here, so let's say when you switch from
Oh,
hardcore to zealot, and so say,
hmm.
or
Yeah. Well, with Dead Space 2, like the hardcore aspect of that is, well, in the first 8 minutes of his run, you would see that he gets hit and like he just staggers off, sort of thing. I could never really get that same like sort of thing happen to me. It always be I get hit, I die, and then I have to restart from the beginning. But in same thing with Zealot. Like with Survivalist, it would just be, oh, I got hit once, went down to red health, and that was it.
Oh, on Zealot, you start with I think it's like the last chunk of it. It's red, and then when you get the QTE, you have like a pixel of health left on Zealot. I do remember that. But
You
yeah,
go to yellow in Zealot, like just the lowest amount of yellow you can get.
yeah, when you start the game,
Yeah. So in Zealot, if you get hit once from there, you will die.
yes.
If in Survivalist, though, you'll go down to the lowest amount of health you can go down to, which is red. So I mean, the lowest you can go down to is like a really, really thin line of red. So
Literally. I think when it's that low, I think you don't even, and at least when I was playing on PC, it wasn't there wasn't any health in the bar, and it would just be the red blinking light at the very bottom of the rig. You can see like the light bloom from the rig itself. I literally could not see any health in the health bar when I played through on Zealot.
anyway, those videos, in my opinion, they're not really what do you call it, definitive proof that he did cheat. Because there are still a lot of unanswered questions, like how the hell can he save his game at the end of the game, saying like 208, like for hardcore. Although I do believe I did make a update video on that, saying that you can go into the files, like you can update them and what do you call it, change the times of them, which I did successfully do. But like not to the point where he did it, where it said 208. It just said you call it 0000.
Yeah, there's always
But
gonna
like,
be nanoseconds
uh,
are always gonna be a thing.
in my opinion, he did change that to 208 because he does dabble within code and all that stuff because he does do software engineering, I think it is. Like I think he was trying to make a fan made game for Dead Space, like like a 2D side scroller.
Jeez, that makes me think of Raze, the Flash game.
Mm. So, something like similar to Metroid, I would believe. So
Yeah,
yeah.
2D side scroller platformer.
Mm. So yeah, after that, like I just started. Well, after that, I was doing a whole bunch of things, like trying to see what would work for my channel. Most people were interested in my drama videos on Playmate Tessie, and that's where I went down to that sort of thing, like making explanation videos on what has happened, like seeing from both sides of the story. And I feel like I helped her father, Jim West, quite a bit with my videos. Same thing with the other commentary community.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I think I went down like a little path of kind of criticizing other people, like the body analysts and all that stuff, where a lot of people did actually enjoy that video. And eventually I got into a bit of a niche with a video that I didn't expect to blow up or anything like that, but it did because of the Dead Space reveal.
which was the 87.
Yeah, it was the Aegis 7 one that blew up, and everyone that, while it was blowing up, they wanted me to make a second one on the sprawl. I did.
Hmm. And then for the
And,
Town Volantis.
sorry?
And then for the Town Volantis. And
Yeah, yeah.
here we are.
Yeah, so like, I found myself in a quite nice niche of making Dead Space content that everyone seems to enjoy for some reason.
Yeah, I think the timing was also, I mean, from my opinion, the timing that the necro posting, your channel, the debug build thing, my content. Last year was quite weird, especially the whole COVID situation and the demand of content that a lot of people were demanding, so to say.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I feel like why people like my videos so much is because it's got kind of like a documentary style feeling to it,
Yeah,
if you
people
get what
love
I mean.
that.
Yeah,
Or
so
more like a
like
movie. I did left a
I
comment.
mean like the reason why I made my timeline video the way it is because I do not like timeline videos on YouTube because it's normally just okay, so this is where in 2508 Dead Space happens, in 2511 Dead Space 2 happens, and then in 2514 or 13, this is when Dead Space 3 happens, and that's it. They give you a general description of the game's plot and all that, but that's basically it.
But
I
not
like
in depth.
to I like to go more into the actual stories and the characters and all that stuff, what
Yeah,
events are happening in conjunction with each other, in my opinion.
the meat
That
and
is generally
potatoes.
what it is my opinion, but I like to make it make sense, sort of thing. So I mean, I did have a thought of, well, like, because like in Dead Space 2 and Dead Space 2 Severed, you have like a sort of like I've been going like all key subjects need to be eliminated in Dead Space 2 Severed, but then you'll get a replay of that in Dead Space 2. So I was going to make that back then, but then I thought, nah, I wouldn't. No one would want to watch that. So then I eventually made a timeline video on Aegis, and everyone seemed to enjoy that after like 3 months of no one watching it.
Oh yeah, I did enjoy while I was sitting on the couch and eating popcorn. I mean, I did left a comment about saying that, and also because it was made in the past and it was serve you the whole timeline with of Age 7 from the beginning of the first incident to the destruction of the planet with the USG O'Brien.
Yeah. Like I feel like I would like to make a remaster of that video. Like, so it all sounds good. There's no problems with the volume or anything like that. The only issue with the volume on that was because like certain soundtracks, like say for instance Dead Space soundtracks, you know, you can tell, okay, so that's gonna be quite noisy. Gotta turn that down. But then Dead Space Downfall's soundtrack, it'll be ambient at some points, but then at a later point, it'll be really bang up noisy sort of thing, and you're like, what
the audio stingers.
Like,
yes.
Yeah, so like, say for instance, if you would listen to a soundtrack piece from Downfall, it's called "The Battle of Wills." It will be like really ambient for like the first 4 minutes, and then it will start to ramp up for no reason. So like, that's really where the clash happened with that.
Yes, there were also somewhere you were playing the audio clips like from Dr. Mercer, Dr. Kine. On some of those, we were like picking items and of Isaac moving.
Yeah, that wasn't my in my timeline videos. I don't use my own independent recordings.
Okay.
I go on and find these non-commentary walkthroughs, or these people that have found these things for me. So
I get it.
So it eliminates time to be able to create this content, which I feel like is the most important part of it, is to just get the gameplay as a matter from where if I credit them, you know, it'll be alright, in my opinion anyway. I mean, most channels don't credit where they get their stuff from, other than just giving them a little, what do you call it, a lower third on screen. Yeah. Like, I don't want to name any names, but Watch Mojo.
Flopping it on the table, telling it like it is. I wish I had such an inspiring story.
I have a lot of issues with Watch Mojo, especially when they made the things you don't know about Dead Space 2. Yeah, Dead Space 2 has multiple endings, by the way. I didn't know if you knew that.
Multiple endings, my ass.
Yeah, that's what they exactly said. Multiple endings. It's like, do they? I thought it was just a one ending. And, you know, this is where this comes from their, like, research of the game is like, oh, okay, so we're just going to take the multiplayer endings and the canon ending and then put them all together so it looks like, oh, yeah, you can branch out in the story and get a completely different ending like you can in Bioshock. It's like...
I mean, the multiplayer thing is that those are the stories from the squads in which some of those aren't part of the PC port because of the DLC maps. They're exclusive to consoles. So basically the high school and Conquers. And I think there was another one, but can't recall which.
No, there was only two. There was only two on the DLC.
Oh, yeah.
You got two maps.
The high school and Conquers, which happens before Isaac revisits it and meets Ellie. And I don't know if the high school was before or after.
Probably had to be before, right?
Yeah, and the zones were changed. I mean, the thing is that right now with the debug build of Dead Space 2, I can access those maps. I mean, there are the names, but I cannot access them because they aren't finished.
Interesting.
I have no idea. No idea when those took place.
At least I know that the Conquerors was before.
You know the Titan Mines is canon because of what happens in Severed, because the door is still shut. It's not open.
Well, that means that they failed.
Yeah. So, well, obviously they failed. You can hear it in the intro that they are failing. Like, you know, they're retreating out of the area. Like, you can hear Gabe go, the tunnel, move. Like, and when he's doing that, you can hear people like screaming in agony and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I wonder who was that speeder killing the players.
Mm. Might be a Twitcher. Because
Oof.
Gabe never actually encountered a Twitcher before.
No, the only
Because they didn't have
one
this in
was
Extraction.
only Isaac so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, Isaac was the only one that actually met a Twitcher before. So.
Unless there were other survivors aboard the USG Shimura after the crash of USM Valor.
Well, yeah,
And
the
they got
soldiers,
slaughtered.
but they all died. That guy's holding his leg that's too big for his body.
Yeah, which that leg was literally from the level 6 suit, well, or military suit. The more you know.
Yeah.
Mm.
And it shows up in Dead Space 2. That same fucking model.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
But where does it show up?
I can't remember exactly. I think it might be when you're going through
Chapter 6, when you go to. I think it was the east,
Yeah.
the east growth, where you go to the refrigerator
It's just a big leg.
storage, where there's like there's like a leg floating in the 0G space. So that's the first time you see soldier, well, the military suit leg.
I never
And the
saw that.
next one aboard the
I never
USM
saw
Valor.
that.
The more you know.
More, you know.
I mean, I know that they had a what do you call it, an appearance in Dead Space Aftermath.
Yeah, they those that
But that's
awful
because
animation.
it's because they're part of the Union Marine Corporation.
I mean, regarding the USM Valor, it is quite interesting. Like, I don't know if Kendra knew about it, that they were nearby the sector.
Oh, in my opinion, Kendra was not a unitologist. She was taking the marker back to the sprawl.
No,
because
she was a double agent.
She worked for EarthGov.
Yeah, but she did mention in the video log that we managed to get it without the help of USM Valor, so I don't know if she had any type of affiliation with them.
She probably would have been briefed that the USM Valor is out there.
Possibly.
Because in the timeline I spoke of, they get lost when they get sent. Because they were supposed to go with the Ishimura, but they shock pointed out into a completely different region of
Yeah,
Aegis.
because they didn't know exactly where was the USG Ishimura, so they were waiting for the coordinates.
But they never got it because as soon as they cracked it, boom,
yes.
went out.
Yeah, one went out, yeah.
I mean, the communications didn't go out.
That's when CSC dispatched the crew.
Communications didn't really go out. It was fluctuating, basically. The like electromagnetic pulse coming from the planet, like that was like a fluctuating thing. It's not until later on in Dead Space Downfall when the what do you call it? The power actually completely goes out. That happens. That you'll actually see in Dead Space Downfall, where they're on the bridge and they hear some noises coming from the elevator. Just turns out to be the security team. But everything's all dark and like dank and all that stuff. Like, and that's where the power has gone out, obviously. So, I feel like the description of when Kine says like within hours the Ishimura went dark is like, I feel like that's a bit of an exaggeration because I don't think it was like within hours. I feel like it was within a certain amount of hours, but not within like 1 or 2.
Yeah, then when you, I think it was on chapter 3 in Dead Space that there were like few days passed since the captain died.
Yeah, like it's kind of like with Extraction as well. You can see, well, the power's still on. The lights are still on. Everything's
probably
still
auxiliary
working.
power.
Yeah, but like everything's still functioning as normal. There's no malfunctioning doors because the malfunctioning doors are would have been the because of like fluctuating power, like constantly going on and off. I would imagine so. That's why they're malfunctioning. So like when the power goes on, the door slams shut. When the power goes on, the door opens because it's malfunctioning. But then when it, as a safety feature, I would say it would slam shut because it's no power or something like that.
Yeah, and a lot of the fuse panels are messed up or rigged.
Yeah.
Also, the part in which Nicole and Edgard were able to transmit a message to an end, like Nicole to Isaac and Edgard to the Church of Unitology to inform about the election situation. Like, how is that possible? I don't know if the marker allowed them to transmit the message because they weren't able to contact outside.
It's a good question.
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
Like, there are some parts on Dead Space 1, Extraction, and Downfall that are a bit weird, so say to comprehend. Also,
Well, yeah.
the CAC dispatching the team right after they lost contact with USG Shimura, so I suppose that after they got the message from Vincent, from the beacon, they realized what really happened.
Well, yeah, like a lot of the stuff surrounding the first game and the spin-offs that connect to the first game, I feel like a lot of it just comes down to like they weren't expecting Dead Space to do as well as it did. And that's why a lot of stuff in the first game and its reference material is sometimes conflicting because I don't think they were expecting a whole universe like to open up after the first game.
Well, actually, I would say that they did expect it because, like, they did give. I mean, if you look at the story between the Sprawl and Aegis 7, you can see a kind of a bit of a contrast between the two. You can see, like, or sort of like a key difference is that the Aegis 7 is actually more fleshed out. It's the most fleshed out era of Dead Space than any of the others. Because, like, you've got the Dead Space comics, you've got Dead Space Extraction, you've got Dead
Novels.
Space. You've got well, the novels came afterwards, but that's not really within Dead Space. That's pre-Dead Space.
Yeah.
It's more to do with the sovereign colonies, the secession wars, all that stuff. But yeah, you had Dead Space, the Dead Space comics that soon became animated comics. Then you had like Dead Space Extraction, Dead Space Downfall, Dead Space Salvage, all happening in the same system. In the Sprawl, you have Dead Space Ignition, Dead Space Mobile, Dead Space 2, and Dead Space Severed. And that's
Yeah.
it. It's not really fleshed. It's not as much fleshed out as the first game was, and that's kind of the reason that I kind of dislike Dead Space 2 in that way, because the lore is not as expanded upon as the first game was.
As well, that was an in-game lore.
So
Yeah.
they kind of were expecting it to blow up into a big, massive universe, like many games. Let's say, for instance, did the people that made Halo Combat Evolved, did they expect there to be a huge like universe be made from this?
I think they did because I think I don't remember, I can't confirm exactly, but I'm pretty sure that Halo was like a Hail Mary that was thrown by Bungie and Microsoft when they were like still like partnered, or maybe I'm not too familiar with the company history, but I'm pretty sure that they weren't expecting, like they thought they had something special, but again, I don't think that they expected Halo to take off the way it did. Same way, like that's because
Uh,
that's why Dead Space 1 is so fleshed out.
Halo was originally supposed to be Halo Wars. It was supposed to
Yeah,
be it was supposed to be a real time strategy game, but then they later changed it to a first person shooter game, and that
yeah,
was like 5 months before release. So they rushed that shit out really quickly,
yeah.
which is still a good game, but you have to it's still a very very good game, but like not the anniversary, the original.
Yeah, of course.
But the original is the best out of the two because like if you look at anniversary, like it's so fucking goddamn bright, like and with brightness and
I mean,
contrast,
you can switch to
it
classic
just
view if you want.
I wonder if that's
yeah
gonna be an
yeah
option
yeah.
for the
But like
remake.
if you look at the brightness and the contrast, it kind of does dampen the mood of the setting and also the atmosphere of the level. Like if you look at like what do you call it? If you play what is it, 343 Guilty Spark again, but with both
Yeah,
different graphics, you can get a sense of like immersion in the classic, but one that you can't find in the anniversary.
yeah, man, that level scared the hell out of me as a kid.
Because like It's like it's so dark and all that. You have to use your flashlight to navigate certain areas. But in the anniversary version, it's completely visible. It looks beautiful. It looks unreal. But because of that, it eliminates the horror aspect. So
I mean, I did start to play Halo with the Master Chief Collection. I haven't played the original because I was more of a PlayStation type.
So, like, I'm kind of trying to bring this into Dead Space. Like, if they do this with Dead Space, yeah, I'm gonna be very disappointed because, like, that would eliminate the lore of it, and also at the same time eliminate the atmosphere as well. I mean, I don't believe they will, but like, I think everyone's kind of looked at Halo Anniversary and thought, yeah,
We need to learn from
we don't
this.
want to go down the same path as them. I mean,
Yeah.
Halo 2. Halo 2 was beautiful when they made that.
It was. So speaking
But
of like the atmosphere and stuff, how did you feel about the sections that we were shown with the new the new graphics and the new engine, like that hallway,
Oh yes, the infamous
the
Chapter 2
fog?
corridor.
Yeah,
it's too clean. It needs to be more bloody.
more
Yeah,
blood.
it's still an early version.
Yeah, it's the. And I was gonna say like they showed you like the tier of all the work that they've been doing on it.
I made a joke in my stream where it was like, I mean, it wasn't really a joke at the time, but now I'm just gonna play it off as a joke. Like, do they have like a fucking janitor that just walks in and just cleans everything up and all that, makes it look nice and shiny? They wax the floor in and all that stuff.
Makes me think of
Or
Viscera cleanup crew.
or that fish from Bob
I mean,
Sponge.
I mean,
Like, he doesn't care what happens around.
that
He
looks.
just does his job and that's it. A bit of blood,
I,
so no worries. I'm gonna clean it.
Scruffy the janitor.
I was not happy. Like, I mean, I know it's an early version, but at the same time, I was like, yeah, that's not good. I don't like that. Like, because if that's the path they're gonna go down, where like, oh yeah, the Ishimura wasn't under attack by a mutated alien force. It was
And
it was
people in
just
the
it
Eldritch
it just went.
Abomination.
They just lost power for a little while, and then the crew disappeared magically.
How
Like,
do you feel about the fog effect that they put in there?
I like it, but I hope it's not going to be present in every single corridor because
Yeah,
like
I feel
then you've got to kind of ask yourself, where the fuck is the fog coming from?
yeah, like hydroponics, that would be the area to put that fog in. But like I
Yeah,
don't
but
A
yeah.
mining deck
in
as well.
Mining deck, yeah.
I
mm,
mean, there are a lot of
I mean, like,
more the morgue.
where does fog actually come from? Like,
Yeah, it's moisture
From the
and
it's
vents,
moisture,
maybe.
isn't it? So
it's just air that's trapped in between. It's moisture
it's
that's
like
trapped in between two layers of air.
yeah, so it's like that moisture trapped in between two layers of air. But also with Dead Space, it's kind of like a dust. It's a dusty, musky sort of air,
Yeah,
sort of
yeah,
filter, sort
yeah.
of thing.
I
Well,
would
So
as
I would
well,
be
the
interested in
ship
seeing yeah, the
that
dust
has been working
effects.
for I don't know how many years, but it was active
The
for
oldest
quite a
ship in
lot.
the colony.
mm. Although I'm kind of interested to see will they say that the ship is dying because it's like kind of alive sort of thing. It's dying, and you'll feel that throughout the game. It's like, oh, what's that? I never got that experience in Dead Space One.
Yeah.
I wonder what that's gonna be.
That would be interesting. I don't know. Also, speaking of the same corridor, I don't know if you guys saw that locked door, but that quite gave me some questions. So to say, I mean, what
Yeah.
does door leads to? Because we know
Mm.
that once you go, when you continue to task on the original Dead Space, on the 2008 version, you know that when you open the door, there is on your left side a locked door where you need to put a power node. And we know
I'm
that
wondering
door might be the one
if it's
that
just a repeat of
Nicole
that.
committed suicide, so possibly that locked door might lead to a secret room.
Well, oh, actually, in Dead Space, the room that Nicole killed herself in was actually the door that you unlock with the power node,
Yeah.
like right next to the bench. I
Yes.
don't know if you said that,
No,
but
no. I mean, it was that door. It was the room that I
oh,
mentioned.
okay. I thought you were talking about the door we could see in the. in the
Yeah.
corridor.
Yeah,
Like,
but that made me questions about. I mean, made me think about that locked door.
I'm still thinking it's probably going to be either a play on the power nodes, or maybe there's going to be a more like cat and mouse stuff where you have to find a key card and basically you have to fight your way back to get to the door.
Possibly on
alright.
chapter 2 you can access it, but on chapter 5,
Yeah, when you're retreading, and I wonder if they're going to do the retreading a little better. If it's because they did it pretty good in the first game, but I wonder if they're going to change it up a little more because you saw the new areas. But I'm curious to see how they change up, like you going back to areas that you've been to before.
I really hope it's not going to be like they just ditch the whole thing and just say, "Hey, you can't use your gun for a little while, so you need
no,
to hide."
because
Oh
the
man,
necromorphs.
that would be awful.
I mean,
No, because the
it
necromorphs
would be
that will be
good.
awful because the
It
necromorphs
would
will
be
see
good
you,
for
will get you.
it'd be good for a spin-off game where it's like like you're in this mining area, but you're playing as a character that has no idea what to do. So you
Alien
have to kind of
isolation.
you have to hide away from the necromorphs, and they make it into a psychological horror, which would be really good, sort of thing. It'd be kind of like if they took Halo and turned it into a psychological horror. If you're just playing as a civilian, so like
Yeah, but it's quite
big old
impossible to hide
engineer.
from necromorphs. Like they can detect
Yeah,
your.
Yeah, but they could theoretically make it work to a certain extent, or it's like you have to like say for instance in
In Dead Space 2
atmosphere.
multiplayer?
No, like say for instance in like negative atmosphere, like they have it sort of thing where a quarantine happens. You have to you have to get out of the quarantine before it actually engages and closes all the doors and all that. Otherwise, you'll be trapped in there with the monsters. And I think it's either an optional thing where you can just stay in there and kill all the enemies, or you could just actually get the hell out of there before it initiates and locks down.
like that.
Not so sure about it. I mean,
But
I think only Veterans members might know about it.
they could do something similar there, but like for a spin-off game, I wouldn't say in the actual series where you're playing as Isaac and all you could do is run away from necromorphs because that would make literally no sense.
It would be interesting to see if they
Unless there was a point where it's like Dead Space 3 with the hunters, like
they just throw them at you.
yeah, they throw them at you, you can't kill them, and you can only really run away from them until you get to the tram, and that's it. Until you meet them, like they just instant transmission over to the other side of the ship.
Yeah, and they somehow follow you to the aft deck. Yeah,
Nah.
Yeah, I didn't really
I mean, the hunter was following Isaac.
I didn't like that they could just like sense where you were, so like boom, they're already there. It's like how the hell did you get here?
or that
Like
they could
you were
survive
you would
the fire.
Well, that would make the Dead Space 2 multiplayer when you play as a necromorph that they can detect the living beings more plausible.
if only they actually did a like a play on Terminator where like you just you blast what do you call it, the hunter with the jets, and then like it just turns around and you just see the metal endoskeleton on the
Just the
underneath,
skeleton of the hunter getting angry
And
at you.
and then you just hear the boom 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 boom. I mean, I kind of got that idea from what do you call it? Once Upon a Theory from Star Wars Theory, where it's like C-3PO is actually a Terminator.
Oh my goodness!
No
When
one
he gets
has to
the
make
red arm, or
No, he's
Oh,
killing all the clones and all that, and shoots at the Emperor, but the Emperor just electrifies him, and then turns around, and you hear the boom 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 boom, and then he just throws him into the lava, and then like it gets a close up of the lava where it's just like he's put his thumb up and all that, like at the end of Terminator 2, as he's slowly sliding into it.
that would be interesting. Not gonna lie. Okay,
I kind
so
of said that as a joke anyway. But...
yes. Well, speaking of jokes, did you like the design of the level 3 suit that we got presented in the stream?
Speaking of Joe, you did not like it. You made it very clear that you did not like that suit in the stream.
I usually, I mean, you know that I like the level 1 above all, and the level 3 suit that was presented in the stream was like, what the hell is that monster? Abomination. I mean,
It looked more like Yeah, it looked more
I
like
mean,
like
I
the
know. I
brass,
mean,
like the brass from
I know it's
Yeah,
an early
from
version,
BioShock.
so it's not a final version,
Yeah,
and also,
but like the thing, if you look at the side by side, they're actually comparing it to the level one suit. I
no,
think it is.
the one that was
Like,
presented was level 3.
yeah, like, but they're comparing it to the level one.
side
I
by
mean,
side though.
how?
You can
Why the
see
level
a you
1?
can see a side
Why
by
the
side
level 1?
comparison. You can see a side by side comparison. So like, why are they doing that? Is he gonna have the level 3 suit at the beginning of the
Yeah,
game?
no, because like when you start the game, you're like wearing your space pajamas, and it's like you get you feel very vulnerable because once you get through that intro, the suit's like all torn up, like the overalls are all torn, and there's like cuts in them.
Oh, that'd be so cool if that would be
Yeah,
really cool if like that was actually a thing in the remake where at the end of the first chapter, like you could see his suit's all torn, then you would have to go get a new one. Like
yeah,
say for instance, like your resistance could be like 10% because it's just really a diving suit really, but or a what do you call it, a surfing suit.
a wetsuit.
But wetsuit, that's it. Wetsuit, that's it. Like, but then when he gets a new one, it's like, okay, so now he's back to like he gets like a 20% resistance to necromorphs and all that stuff.
Yeah,
But you can also do what Fable did, and like every time you die, sort of thing, you can actually see a physical representation of that one death. Where in Fable, it was like you would get like a scar or
yeah,
something somewhere.
scars. Yeah,
But in Dead Space, it could be like part of his suit's ripped off and all that. So you
Depending on
can
the
see how
damage you
many times.
receive, that would be
yeah, it would be
Yeah,
interesting.
cool because
but
like
then but then you
yeah,
could also reset that every time you upgrade to a new suit because that would make sense.
it would be yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know if they are
Unless
going with the
unless
same strategy with store and bench because I think they mentioned something about the workbench and I don't know if that will work for both the
a
suit and the
warbench.
weapons. So I don't know.
the workbench.
Yeah, the one that was shown on the teaser, where he was healing up and the plasma cutter was attached to an arm or something like that on his left side.
Oh, just that bench that where you just grab
Yeah.
the plasma cutter from.
Yeah,
Yes.
Oh, okay.
it was reminiscent of like the Dead Space 3 bench where the arm takes your weapon and it like puts it into the bench, but it was just kind of being suspended by an arm.
I really hope they're not bringing those back.
No, they won't. God, they hopefully they've learned from their
I
mistakes.
mean, I
Yeah, I really.
did like that design, but
Not making a
Oh,
shotgun.
not making a
yeah,
telemetry
but
smoothie, for example.
the difference between Dead Space and Dead Space 3 is that Dead Space was intended to be a survival horror game. Dead Space 2 and 3 are not survival horror games. Like Dead Space 2 tried to be more psychological with Nicole's presence being in the game, but it didn't really work because like you're trying to mix action and horror together, which are two kind of like with those two they kind of clash with the atmosphere of the game. Like it's
Yeah,
either just make a action game or a horror game. You can't really try to mesh those two together. I mean, for some games it kind of works, like The Evil Within, for instance. That's still kind of a like a freaky game sort of thing with the action in it. But I would say that's probably because they actually take the horror aspects quite seriously. When in contrast to the action, like they probably make the horror more their priority than the action aspect.
yeah. There's a lot of running in the first one and
Because
the first Evil
because
Within.
with horror, you don't actually have to make it make sense. Like, say for instance, I can't remember where this franchise is from, but like it might be like a like Heapers Creepers or something like that, where you had that oil slick, and these kids like as soon as they touch it, they get pulled in and they start dissolving inside this oil slick, and they're trapped on this little raft thing in the middle of the lake. That's kind of like those type of things like where it's just literally it's so disturbing it actually just takes your breath out of your lungs and you can't feel like you can breathe. Or like there was a segment where basically what do you call it? Someone had dug a hole on a beach, put the person in the hole, buried them up to their neck, and they could just literally they had a TV where they could actually watch each other slowly drowned because the tide was coming in. Those type of things.
Yeah, that reminds me of the Far Cry 3 commercial videos of us.
Yeah, these are like things that happen, and I think it was made in like the start of the 1990s. Like really old-fashioned psychological horror.
Good times, good times.
Yeah. I mean, I'll never forget my first psychological horror. The human centipede.
Oh.
Oh yeah, that movie fucked me up.
I'm gonna hate my uncle for that, but on the contrary, I'm quite grateful. I mean, imagine letting a little child playing horror games and watching horror movies at a younger age.
I mean, hey, that's what I was doing when I was a kid. I used to go over to me and my brother have two different dads, and I used to go to his dad's on the weekend with him, and we used to watch horror movies. So I was exposed to like terrifying shit from an early age. So by the time I got to Dead Space, I was like, this is pretty scary, but I've seen scarier. Because like you know when you
Oh
see
yeah,
that.
yeah.
When you see
I
the
personally,
thing at like 12, that kind of changes you.
I kind of cringe. I kind of cringe at these the stories on YouTube, like where it's like the guy that goes, "Oh yeah, this game really shits me up," and then it's just like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" It's just like, bruh, really? It's like you're not
10,000
scared at all. You're not scared at all. And like the thing you have to kind of really be careful on YouTube is that most things now are just really fake as hell, and you can kind of tell when they're fake. Like even going like whoa, 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 like I'm just like literally whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm like, is this real? Is this a real reaction or is that fake?
for the kids.
Yeah.
But it's also because I think that our generation has seen a lot of horror movies, and we sort of say we are well, let's say we are normal to this kind of reaction, so it doesn't affect us anymore.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, people that haven't seen that many horror movies, and oh boy, I do enjoy torturing my friends when we go to see a horror movie at the cinema because it's
Yeah.
magnifique.
Yeah. I just like because I think
I would say horror movies at the cinema are kind of like really watered down compared to the old
yeah
fashioned ones. Like they're really
like
watered down these days. Like they'll build up the tension and then they'll just go rah like that, and
there's
you
the
get a jump.
monster.
Everyone will scream because they've just been jump scared. It's like I literally watched Insidious. Like I think it was the second one, and that happened, and I was like, everyone screamed and shouted. I just looked around like, what the fuck? Why wasn't I scared?
Well, we
I
also
mean,
like
I did. I will put it out there. I did play a lot of Five Nights at Freddy's at that point, so
oh goodness
it's kind of probably watered down my brain.
I
As
haven't
well.
played that game, and I don't know why.
I played the first one. It's it's something. It was different, but like it's not for everybody.
I've played nearly all of them. I mean, I played the first four, and then I played Sister Location, and I think that's where it kind of stopped for me. Like, because essentially it's just the same game in a different setting.
Mans was just trying to feed his family. That's all.
I mean, that game
But
had a.
the fourth one was kind of freaky because you actually had to listen. Like you go up to the door and you'd have to listen for a like that sort of thing. If you hear that, but
Scary. Scary.
you'd have to hear for breathing. You know, so you'd have to listen for the animatronic to breathe
So you
into
get
your face.
more, you get more engaged into the
Yeah,
gameplay.
yeah.
Yeah, you have
But
to be on your toes.
and
Yeah,
if you flash a flashlight and you didn't hear a breath or you heard a breath but you didn't know you heard a breath, the game would jump scare you and would die. So, you know.
And then Bugs Bunny comes to
Stuff
you.
like that, really.
Bugs Bunny comes, whacks you on the head with a hammer.
Oh yeah, like
Looking like
although
a double by surprise.
Oh no.
the funniest thing for those animatronics were some of them can teleport, so like that would freak so many people out. Like I think it was the I can't remember what it's called, Fredbear, like Nightmare Fredbear.
Yeah.
Like if you flash a light, while he's at the end of the corridor, he can just teleport. Like it looks like he's teleporting. I've had that once, and a lot of other people have like freaked out by that.
Surprise.
Anyway, shall we move on to the third part of this?
Yes. I mean, we were discussing about the suit. Also, oh yes,
Isaac's
the animation.
animation. I kind of like it a little bit. Like, it looks kind of like how somebody would, if they were experiencing these events for the first time, that's kind of how they would be, sort of thing. And like, there would be a bit more of a nervous sort of look
Yeah, but
to the
Isaac from
character.
2008 was more
Yeah,
calm,
he was just an
so to
average
say.
person until he eventually met the
I mean,
Necromorphs.
you can see from
You
the
know,
animation of the first chapter after the necromorphs were first introduced,
I
like
know.
he was in a panic state, but it wasn't that visible, so to
Yeah,
say.
it's just more or less like Isaac when he moves. He does move to like somebody that's nervous, sort of thing. Like he staggers a little bit.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's kind of like what I like.
Which this leads to the next point, which is the so to say perfect game statement that the devs mentioned, and as well the
It
guest
was
based on the Reddit comments.
actually from
I mean, it's a
what's her
good
face?
game, but it's not a
No, by
perfect
no means
game.
is it perfect.
Like,
Yeah,
it has a lot of issues.
that was kind of the issue I had with the guest that they chose to put on it. Like, why the fuck would you even say that?
No,
You know,
they
like
didn't.
even
They didn't say that
they
they took the
quoted.
comments from
Yeah, they
Reddit,
quoted it,
from
but
the Dead Space Reddit.
why even bring that up? It's not a perfect game at all.
Yeah,
It's
they
not.
used a lot of lighting
Like
effects to hide the shortcomings.
it's like saying that any
Also,
game's a perfect game.
it's not a
It's
true
not. Every
statement.
every every single
Yeah,
game will have its flaws and have its problems and all that stuff. Whether
like
that be something to do with the story, that there's a whole bunch of plot holes in the game, or if that's something
yeah,
to do with gameplay as the aesthetic of that, or something more or less to do with the overall design of it.
they should reword it to it's not the perfect game. It's maybe
It's a
the maybe
classic.
maybe the perfect no, no, like the perfect experience that they had was perfect, but the game is not perfect. The
No,
experience
it's
they
not
had was
perfect.
perfect.
I wouldn't say the experience. I would say more or less the story, sort of thing. Like in the story aspect, it's kind of like a classic horror masterpiece.
Well,
But
there were some
I feel like,
issues, some aspects that were involved. I mean, were
Yeah,
so to say
or like to
well
say,
enriched, so to say.
the implementations they made with the technology. Like say for instance, the rig system, like that could be seen to be like a perfect design.
Ah, yes,
But
yeah,
the UI.
the
But
diegetic UI.
if you look through gameplay, like of the actual thing, sometimes if you shoot stasis, it won't even hit the necromorph. It will
Oh
just
no.
fly through them, and they won't even get stasis. Or like other times where it's like, what do you call it? You aim for a specific point and you shoot, but your stasis just veers off like a RPG, which they fixed in Dead Space 2. But like, if someone's going to claim it's a perfect game, they should really go through all that,
No, I mean
stuff.
it's not a perfect game.
And
I mean the console port is better than PC ports.
yeah, the PC port has a very. I would describe it as, say, for instance, the camera is mounted on a trailer, and you have that trailer is attached to Isaac, sort of thing. In the console version, it's a complete brig sort of thing. So the camera's always stuck in the same place, sort of thing. It won't really veer off or anything like that. In the PC version, it looks like it's held together by some string. So it's a lot more disorientating than the Xbox experience or
Yeah,
the console experience, I
Yeah,
mean.
and also that you need to do a lot of changes on your part to make the game work better, like the mouse fix, the
Mm,
VSync issues, and other stuff.
widescreen
yeah.
fix.
Yeah, the widescreen fixer does help a lot as well when you change the field of view, for example, on by 0.25, so you can
Yeah,
have a better experience of the game.
Mm, yeah.
And especially with the reshape as well, it does help a bit. Just by activating two options to make the game look a bit better, and it does help as well.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't need to do that because I can just use my capture card.
Yeah, you play on console. I already knew
Yeah,
that.
Ain't nothing wrong
no,
with
I
that.
just use my capture card to just turn the contrast all the way down, or the brightness all the way down, and have contrast all the way up.
Yeah,
So it
I
looks a lot
remember
more
that challenge
crisp.
that you did for the Dead Space 2, like the Dark Experience. Oh
Oh
my
yeah, I
god.
did that for Dead Space. I did that for Dead Space 1 on impossible mode, and
Oh, you
that
did
was
that as well for
terrifying.
that?
That's
I did that. I did that prior to the Dead Space 2 one, and that one was absolutely terrifying. It was literally like I was playing an atmospheric horror game. Like, say, for instance, Outlast or something like that.
Ah, yes,
Yeah.
the first Outlast.
But this time there was no camera. There was no what do you call it? Green screen thing, whatever it's called.
The night vision.
Night vision. That's it.
Quite interesting. I wonder how they are going to improve the immersion experience. Maybe they might do something like Dead Space 2 or something different. I don't know.
Can I go into that with Dead Space 2? How do they immerse us?
I mean, I know they want to remove the tram station part in which you don't get any pauses. So
You mean
Loading screens.
the
yeah,
fact that
and
everything.
have it like a continuous
I
experience without any
oh
type of interruptions.
so you mean instead of having it so where you stop and go, you have it just where you continuously go,
Yeah. Like in
like
two where you just keep
like
going.
uh like in any of those games that don't have loading screens in them, they want to completely remove those.
Except for
But
the
the only problem with that is, yeah, you would have to have cutscenes in the game because those are
Um,
technically loading screens
yeah, I
because they
mean, I
load the
think
next
that
area.
the tram station they could do it like you get briefed while you ride the tram. So once you reach the destination, you won't need to wait. Like for example, on chapter 4, after you load up the zone, you need to wait a bit for the door to be unlocked because there is a briefing between Kendra and Hammond about the marker and
Yeah.
I
the
mean,
objectives you need to do.
with the new console and the next gen sort of thing, they could possibly make that an actual thing where you don't need to actually have cutscenes to load in the next area because it's all next gen and all that stuff. And that could be another reason why they're putting it on just next gen, not pre-gen.
They might also just make the tram ride like an actual visual, like they do in 3, where you're in the skip and it's just maybe it's not pre-rendered, but it'll be like a visual
Or
experience of you
or in Dead
passing through
Space
the
2.
where you're passing through the different sections of the ship.
I would prefer it if you had a choice between the tram or the just walking through the trench.
That
That'd be
would be
cool.
interesting.
And then with the trench, you could actually implement different rooms that you could visit on the way that would access different areas of the ship.
It's more
Where
dangerous, but
like
you get more rewards
not
for
really
that.
that, just more like like the optional missions in Dead Space 3, for instance.
Yeah.
You could have it that way instead, or if it was like Dead Space 1 with Dead Space 3, there would be like a massive monorail that would go through the entire colony.
I mean, I wonder how they are going to do it with the Frostbite engine, but at least compared to other games, it's going to be easier because if they are going to do the same strategies, I would say, like in the past, while like when you reach the zone, the next areas will be loaded up. So once you access the next area, the previous will be cut to make the resources
Yeah.
more optimized, so to say. But at least it's not going to be the same like the Battlefield games or Battlefront 2 or 1 or Dragon Age Inquisition, for example, in which those games
Yeah.
does use open areas. But with Dead Space, I think it's going to be easier. So possibly we might get more details at a lower cost of resources. Well, for the PC, but that depends unless we get a demo of it.
I mean, I know the speedrunning community will very much like Dead Space 1 again if they actually get that immersion experience like you spoke of with the like the overarching maps and all that stuff. So instead of just what do you calling it starting at chapter 1 through to 12, you could just get to chapter 1 and go to chapter 11 straight away.
Oh boy.
But I don't know how they would be able to actually you have to skip chapter 11 because you won't have kinesis at that point.
Yeah.
Unless it was like a reload and then you just magically have it after you reload the map. You checkpoint restart. Which is something I kind of hope they have. It's a checkpoint restart, not a, oh, you die and you have to go back to the checkpoint.
It will be interesting as well if they're going to add the hardcore mode.
Oh, especially if they have that little thing where it says it's saving. So I could just be like, oh, it's saving. Checkpoint reset. Oh, just skip the entire cutscene. Brilliant.
Well, time will tell for that one.
I mean, that would be a good way to skip cutscenes without actually giving us a skip button.
Yeah, but if they're going to add a skip button, it might ruin a bit the immersion.
Not really. To be fair, if it was like, what do you call it? Like, if they were making actual cutscenes for the game itself, not these ones from Dead Space 1, which I like the ones from Dead Space 1 because you could actually do stuff while you're watching the cutscene. It's just kind of cool. Like most games that were back then, sort of thing, you'd go loot the area instead of just sitting there and like waiting for the cutscene to be over. It's more interactive.
Could be interesting. Could be interesting.
Yeah, but I do prefer the interactive one more than just, oh yeah, like it's a cutscene. I can put down the controller, make myself a cup of tea. That's it.
Yeah. I do know. Yeah, dude.
I
You don't realize
I
how many
prefer.
are in the second game.
Sorry, what?
How many like cutscenes that break up the action in two? There's like a lot of forced cutscenes.
Oh yeah, there
Yeah.
was a lot of them, and it kind of breaks the immersion for me. Sort of thing. It's like watching a movie, and I'm playing a video game. I should not be feeling like I'm sitting in a cinema watching a movie. I should feel like I'm inside of the experience. I should feel more a part of the experience, you know. And I shouldn't have a cutscene to kind of pull me out of that experience.
Yeah.
You should still have
Gaming
like.
scene will remember that.
That's why I don't feel Dead Space 2 was like, even a horror game per se, because of the cutscenes. How many there are, like how many of it breaks up the entire game. And like you could be in like an area where you're feeling really kind of scared sort of thing, but then all of a sudden a cutscene happens and you're like, oh, okay.
No longer in it.
Yeah, like it's like, oh, thank God, it's just a cutscene. I'm saved. Like you don't want that in a horror game. You don't want that. You don't want to have that feeling like, okay, I'm safe. That sort of thing. You want to have like you can actually have it where it's like you get to the tram station and you feel safe, but then a necromorph just drops out of nowhere and just tries to attack you. Kind of basically betraying that safe feeling. Basically communicating with the player that there is nowhere on the ship that is safe. Kind of like they did with Dead Space Extraction when they were getting forced onto the tram.
I mean, let's see how they will make the necromorphs go to other areas, because from what I saw from the debug build on Dead Space 1, that some enemies don't go to other areas, they just stick to the area where they spawn. I mean, like I tried on Chapter 2 to make a speedrun, so to
Well,
say.
we kind of had that with one necromorph, and that was specifically the Wheezers. They were only appeared in Chapter 6, and that was it. I would imagine there would be in other parts of the ship as well, but I guess not.
I think it just made more sense for them to be in hydroponics because they're trying to poison the air supply, and hydroponics is where the air flows through the rest of the ship, like out to the rest of the ship.
Oh, okay.
But it could be also another variant for the wizard for the world sections.
That's true. Yeah.
Also, I didn't know they had Wheezers. I didn't know they had Wheezers in Dead Space 3.
That
Oh,
was
yeah.
Interesting.
that was only
Just
on
one
was
side
that?
mission.
Oh yeah,
That was in the co-op
on
mission.
covers one.
It was in the
I
co-op
think
mission,
it was
yeah.
a market containment, but I'm not so sure. I think it was only one or
Yeah,
two.
it
I don't
was.
know. But I did notice that those things really took a lot of bullets to kill. Like on hardcore, the Avengerizer shotgun, like full damage took me like 3 shots to kill
Three.
one.
I don't really know. I don't really know what kind of necromorphs you're going to have that will not be able to go to other areas of the ship. They all seem very mobile,
Yeah.
like slashers, leapers, lurkers. exploders. Although with exploders, I don't understand how the hell they get through vents without detonating their little gooey sack attached to their arm.
Yeah.
Like, so maybe just have those in a few areas of the ship where they're like that's their native area where they were like sort of made
Well, yeah,
or
and
created.
then there's others like
Well, for that we can ask Corona for
yeah,
that.
because like if you notice, like pregnants are restricted to certain parts; they can't get through vents. Brutes,
I mean, they are big boys, so they cannot enter that easily
yeah,
on the vents.
brutes
Yeah,
are
yeah.
limited to a few
I
sections.
mean, you had that kind of with Dead Space One as well, like the original, where like you would have like a whole bunch of them in one area, and you'd be like, "Whoa, what the hell?" Like, say for instance, Chapter 10, when you open that door and there's about like 4 of them inside one room. Although I don't really want that to be a thing like with the first game. Like in Chapter 5, you had you would return to an area and then all of a sudden there's like 6 of them in the room with the hunter waiting for you.
Oh yeah,
It's like
medical deck, yeah.
how the hell did you guys get in here?
I think the bodies are transformed, aren't they? Because there's a bunch of bodies in that room, and then I think they're gone when
No,
you
it's
go
just
back.
I don't think so. I think this is the same amount as you had in Dead Space Chapter 2.
I always just chalked it up to the infector making its way through that area.
Yeah, but I don't think the infected creates pregnants. I think it just creates normal slashes.
No, it creates pregnants. If you watched Downfall, you see a guy get turned into a pregnant
Yeah,
through an
Mm,
infector.
you
I didn't see
sure?
that.
I.
I just saw mostly slashes.
You mean the one from the bath?
In the shower. That's a pregnant.
No,
No,
that's a slasher. That's a
uh,
slasher.
it is a slasher. Yeah,
It's
it's a
not
slasher.
pregnant.
You can see their stomach get ripped out and all that while they're
Yes.
transforming.
And also that his right arm, I think, was reconstructed to create
Yeah.
a blade. No, so that one wasn't a pregnant. That was a
No,
normal
no,
slasher.
there was a pregnant in Dead Space Downfall, but that was the one that killed
I think there were two.
what's his face? Yeah, there were
Uh,
two. There was one in hydroponics, and there was one in
a Miracle
Moar.
Deck where that
Yeah, the Moar.
the guy from the colony woke up and saw that there
Yeah.
were bodies in the morgue,
Yeah, yeah, the Moar gear.
and then he turned around only to get stabbed.
So, with the dismemberment strategy revamp, how did you guys like that sort of thing?
It reminded me of the Doom Eternal, literally.
The maternal destruction type.
Yep,
I can't remember that. Oh, the weak spots.
yep.
Chunks
Yeah.
of flesh flying
Yeah.
off.
Yeah, the destruction
I'm
of the flesh.
gonna simply say that from Doom Eternal, I did not like the fact that oh yeah, there's a weak spot for every enemy. It's just like I don't like that, you know. I just like okay, so there isn't a weak spot. You just have to rip and tear all the fucking limbs off all these monsters.
But at least with Dead Space, is I think it's gonna fit
I like-
well because compared to the Dead Space games, yeah, you could just literally aim at at the legs, doesn't matter which part, and they will still cut off. But with what they shown, if you clean one section of the limb or body whatsoever, and you expose the bone, then you can dismember it.
Yeah,
But
I
only
kinda
at that
like
certain.
For, I
Only
like
at
that for
certain
Dead
section.
Space. I like that for Dead Space where it's like you actually blow off a limb sort of thing. You'll see the bone underneath. Like I kind of like it as well because that would make me want to play with the flamethrower a bit more,
Oh yes.
you know, than the first game.
On
Because
the
like
pulse rifle.
you saw how it seared the flesh off the bone, sort of thing, and I was just like, oh my god, that looks beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah. And there's
Just
a fully
imagine,
modeled skeleton.
just imagine panicking, you know, like using your flamethrower as like a fire grenade on impossible mode, and then all you do is just expose the skull and bone underneath,
It's an angry
and it's still
skeleton.
coming.
Oh
Can you
boy.
imagine how many people would just be screaming at that point?
Oh, I'm just imagining me what
It's gonna be beautiful.
I'm just
That's gonna be
imagining what I'm
beautiful.
going to do with the force gun. Oh,
My
chunks
goodness.
of flesh just throwing away. But at least
Oh,
that
yeah.
would give more perspective to the precision, to the dismemberment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you're
and I feel
going,
like it
if you're
gives
going only with the plasma cutter, you just clean one section and then you cut the bone and that's it.
I hope that they look at it a bit more and think, what if someone hit the torso? Wouldn't that cut through the what do you call it, the torso, and you'd get like that what you see in most horror games or horror movies where you shoot them in one specific spot and you can see like a hole being made and they're still coming. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like say for instance someone shoots them in the stomach and then you could just see the spine underneath.
Yeah,
I know what you're
saying.
And then you just continue moving towards them, like in those zombie movies.
I don't know why it reminded me of Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Something like that, you know. So I would like that if they use that for plasma cutter, if they actually used it to shoot into the what do you call it? Into the torso. Same thing with the pulse rifle. Like I would like it if they keep it within the lore that the pulse rifle is designed to liquefy and fracture bones.
That would be
But
interesting.
I guess you have to kind of look at. I guess they'll have to kind of perfect that with certain difficulties. Like if it was like this, like in impossible mode, it takes like what a few rounds to actually take off a limb, sort of thing, or expose the bone underneath. You could have it like where you actually with the plasma cutter, it burns the skin, so it burns the skin off, so you can see the muscle underneath, and then you shoot it again, then you can see the bone, then you shoot it again, the arm pops off, and that's it. One thing I will say though, I really do not like the fact that you could just pick up limbs and impale necromorphs like you could in 2.
Oh yeah, the remake.
I feel like, yeah, I don't really like that in Dead Space 1 because it's like Isaac's experience. This is all coming from Isaac's perspective, and Isaac's experiencing this whole shit for the first time, and he is not experienced in killing necromorphs. He's not that creative within dismembering them yet. So I wouldn't imagine him to be like, I could just pick up the limbs and fire at them. He kind of gets that idea from that guy in Dead Space 2. And so you have the tutorial for it in Dead Space 2.
Yeah.
Like,
or maybe he could do. I mean, later on I'll mention of his TK thing, but yeah, this revamp of the TK, I don't know. I mean, we don't know yet what that icon next to the ammo counter will be about. Maybe like a charged shot or something like that to do damage.
Maybe. Or like it is the thing. Maybe I would have preferred it if they actually just what do you call it? Like instead of having the TK impalement, they just upgraded like what TK abilities you would actually have, sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like you pick up something and you could hurl it at an necromorph and it would take off a limb. Like say for instance a vent blade can be used as a weapon in Dead Space 1.
Having that that little RPG element.
Yeah.
I would prefer if they kept it that way. So it was just like, okay, so I can use the vent blades to dismember enemies. You know, it kind of just eliminates that strategy. And also, one thing I did not like about Dead Space 2 was, okay, I'm gonna pick up that iron weapon. Oh no, I can't pick it up because I'm picking up the bloody limbs instead. I have to do it. Oh come on! Oh my god, stop it! I got the ammo pack. Thank God. You know, like I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
It kind of annoys me more than it scares me.
I just developed the reflex after a few playthroughs of just taking both limbs off and killing them with the blades. And even after they're dead, I still hit them with the second one just to get the loot to pop out to avoid that.
Yeah. So like, I would.
But I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, it's annoying, but like, there is a way to solve it. But I'm not really the type of person that uses TK, anyway, to kill enemies.
Yeah.
I'm more of a purist with that sort of thing.
Well, speaking of, what is going to be the biggest change of Dead Space 1 will be that Isaac will be able to fly on zero-G areas.
I don't think that's the biggest change.
I mean,
it's a pretty big one.
I mean, compared to the jumping, like jump from A to B. At least now you have more freedom to explore the areas.
Yeah. I like it. But specifically don't like it at the same time. Like it's kind of like a different sort of change for me. Like I kind of like the progression, as I said before. I like the progression of you had to jump from A to B in like before Dead Space 2, but in Dead Space 2 they've revamped it so workers can now use the thrusters from a suit to be able to, what do you call it, navigate through zero G however they like, sort of thing.
Yes.
Full control.
I like that within the universe there was a progression. Like say for instance in Star Wars, you know, like at some point they must have used bullet rounds or shotgun rounds.
They do.
But then at some point they changed it to laser weaponry.
I
Like
mean,
lightsabers and
But then you still
blasters
have
and all that stuff.
some. You have like the Tusken Raiders who still use ballistic weapons, and some bounty hunters still use ballistic weapons.
Yeah.
the best
But
car
like you would have
sticks.
you have that like progression sort of thing within the weapons. Same thing with Dead Space. I like the fact that in Dead Space 1 I had to jump from point A to point B.
Yeah.
But in Dead Space 2 they've kind of revamped it to be that I can fly anywhere now, you know?
Yeah.
They only just invented it sort of thing.
Maybe as
Yeah,
well to
the-
explore other areas because I mean
I
the USG
understand
Shimura
from
is
a
going to
game-
be bigger than Dead Space 1, so there are going to be
Yeah.
more areas to explore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand from a gameplay perspective, you know, that's going to be the more favorable, but within the lore of it, I don't like that, you know, change.
Well, I found it
Well, in
quite good. I mean, something different, so to say.
In the zero G demonstration, they also had that extra cell, like that room cell of an area that wasn't in the previous game.
Yeah, that could be
And
like
Yeah,
like how to
the
call
zero
it.
G therapy.
Yeah, but I think it was more to to see
Flesh it
the.
out.
I think that room was more to see how the patients were.
Yeah, it's an observation room.
Yeah, like an observation room.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying they're gonna add more rooms like that to the ship to give you that more. You know, it's an actual, it's a colony. It's not just a mining ship. People live on this ship. There's a zero G therapy area. There's
not-
there's
it's
the
not
zero G
really a
basketball
colony.
area.
No, the USG Shimura, it's a ship. So far of the colony, we don't know yet how it's going to be. If it's going to be bigger, or maybe we might have extra chapter.
I would like if
extra
they-
chapters of the colony.
To be honest, I would like it if, as I said in my thingy, like of my video, like I said, like in SPV3 you had extended missions because it's a mod for Halo Combat Evolved. But like, I gotta be honest, when I was playing those, I got bored so very quickly after I deviated, and it was like, oh my god, this is all law abiding to the books. And if you look at law abiding, and you kind of make out that, well, you can make out that just because it's law abiding doesn't mean it's actually fun. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, say for instance, in the first mission, you would get into an area where there was like 10 what do you call it, 10 elites that are invisible. They all have swords, and it's literally nearly impossible to get out of there on the normal difficulty, which is annoying. Like on your first playthrough, it's nearly impossible.
But afterwards, when you
Because the swords are an insta kill in that game, and it's like, are you serious? Why would you even put this here? You know, be like putting like 15 hunters in the same room with you and expect you to get out.
oh god,
Easily.
Yeah, that's what
It's
I'm
like-
saying. Like, yeah,
It's like, I'm sorry, how did this even get past the testing process?
for real. Yeah,
Did someone just want to get to the pub a little bit quicker that day? They just say, yes, it looks good, mate, it's perfect.
don't
and
play
then-
texture mods.
literally very nice editing.
They're not. That's why some things are better as written lore instead of playable lore, because when you want to play a story accurate Master Chief, then you get a level at the beginning of the game where you're in a room with 10 elites that are invisible with swords.
Yeah. Same thing with Dead Space, like, I kind of would like it if they just kept something to keep me going through those optional areas, you know, like maybe like an hallucination at some point, but don't, please, for the love of fucking Christ,
Or maybe
do not
more
give me
lore.
do not give me an iron brew filter that is going to fill my screen. So I'm like, oh, this is a hallucination. It's not really happening. No,
I will.
make it part of the
Like,
gameplay. Like, say for instance, in Chapter 6, where you kill all those 3 necromorphs when you're making your way back to the main hub, and then you turn around and they're gone. You know, and it's like that is a perfect hallucination sequence right there. You don't know the hallucinations; they still deal you damage when they hit you, but when you turn around when you activate the elevator, the corpse is gone.
Disappear.
So that is perfect. That really is perfect.
yeah, they were very subtle in the first game. Like, I didn't even
don't-
realize that
to be
the
honest,
first one was what?
To be honest, I
literally
never
do.
realized that. I was just like, enemies killing them. Continue with the
Yeah,
story.
no.
I never noticed
Like,
that they might be
um,
part of hallucinations.
like when you have
Seems.
that hallucination of Corporal Chen, I didn't even realize it was him because it happened so fast.
Oh yeah, that one I know it was a hallucination.
Who's Chen?
The guy that
One of
the
the
Asian guy that
two
gets killed at the
security
beginning.
guards.
When you
When
go
you have
into
a when you have
yeah,
a
when-
hallucination of him?
Chapter 4, when you
He-
go to, I think it was level 3, when you
yeah,
had to
he
go
just says, yeah.
to the ADS cannon.
He says make us whole, but he's like has his finger over his mouth and he's like saying you hear shh, but then you hear him saying make us whole as he walks out of frame.
Oh, that's him. Okay, I didn't know that was
Yeah,
him.
like that's why I said they're so
I
subtle you don't
was
even realize.
I always rush to the door and open it and see him just disappear.
Yeah, I mean,
Just literally
from
fade out.
from chapter 4 we did notice that Hammond was also having hallucinations. I mean, if you take the other route, instead of going to the level 1, you go to the level 3, activate the first, or the second, so to say, rerouting power, he will
Yeah.
literally tell you, I don't know about you, but I'm seeing things. He'll make that statement.
He also said that in Chapter 3, where you complete one of the objectives, he'll say like, oh, I thought I saw something. And I always make out the joke like, you did. It was a shadow, mate.
Yeah, like
It was that
Kendra-
slasher watching at you, like, should I enter
Yeah.
or should I not?
like
Only to
Kendra
end up.
makes it more obvious.
Should I
you know,
Should I jump scare him now, or should I give him a little while?
Give
Yeah.
him some time.
Well, he spends a good portion of a few chapters in that computer room, and then he has to move to hydroponics.
Oh,
So,
that's speaking of that. I hope they give you a way to actually access the computer core,
Oh,
because in the first game you look at the map and you go down one of the shafts that goes up to level 3 and down to the basement. Like, you can see a room, and that's Kendra's room right there. That's Kendra's computer core. But in Dead Space Downfall, it is a big, massive area, and I would love a opportunity to be able to go in there and actually see that.
well,
Even
Yeah.
go and visit Kendra and have that like interaction with her. On
regarding
missions.
that, if the devs won't do it, possibly the modders will.
yeah.
Because that will be what do you call it? That would be really, really awesome if they actually were able to do that.
I mean, with the Frostbite engine, it's possible. They did with the Battlefront 2, recreating some maps. All they need are just the models, textures, and that's it.
Yeah.
The other hallucination that I thought was super subtle, but it's the PA system. As you go through the game, she gets a little more. It's a little more like creepy as you get through the game because it goes from making more like less announcements about like stuff day-to-day stuff, and then it becomes, it's recommended. She's like whispering, but it sounds like very creepy, and she's telling you, don't visit your loved ones. Maybe you'll act rashly or make a decision you'll regret, stuff like that. But she like the PA becomes progressively more creepy as you get through the game, and you hardly notice it because it's so good that it's so subtle, like the other hallucinations in the game.
I mean,
I saw from a YouTuber they actually did do the exact same thing for his video, but it's like subscribe to such and such.
oh yeah, I know which one you're referring.
I literally commented I literally go over there like, you son of a bitch, I heard all that, you bastard.
You got me. You got me very well. I know which video you're referring.
Yeah,
He got me as well.
I know what you did, Russian man. Russian Gaming, I think it was called.
Yeah.
I don't recall the
Russian Dead
name, but
Space.
it was very
Russian
good.
Dead Space, I think it was.
It was very good.
We touched on
I mean,
location.
I hope
No,
that
it's
too.
it's the sound effect video, isn't it? It's a sound effect video.
Yeah, it's the PA, like the PA voice. It's all of the
Yes,
voice
that's
lines, and
it.
then they
Yes.
snuck it in at the very end. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that was quite good.
I mean, they did mention that they are going to improve the story, and as well that they are going to enrich the whole situation with Nicole and the dementia. And I'm quite eager to see how they are going to improve it, because it was quite absent in the story.
Yeah, you really don't get too much.
No, from Nicole you don't
like-
get that much. Maybe,
Yeah, you don't. Yeah,
maybe some
yeah, no.
hallucination on the screens, video logs that we find, the situation on chapter 7 that you see her, that she helps you accessing the room where the beacon is, and then the chapter 11, and then the chapter 12. But other than that, not that much.
Another question would be, are they gonna get? Are they gonna have the? Because I know the original actress that played Nicole in the first one didn't want to do the role again for 2, so they got a new.
I mean, I did. I
mocap.
liked Tanya Clark
actually,
on Dead Space 2 being Nicole.
Yeah.
I liked her.
Actually, the actress from Dead Space 2 said she would actually do Dead Space again if she
yes.
got offered the part. So
yeah, we'll probably have
this
her.
is coming from,
especially right now.
This is coming from an interview that she had with JKP Rising. That what do you call it? She would actually over I think it was over Discord or Skype even, but like she did say like if they were to do Dead Space again, she would return for the part and all that. So,
I mean, I think she will return, definitely, because
I would prefer the original.
Yeah, she had the different areas, but
the model, you mean?
No, just the voice and model. Yeah, why not?
It's a big contention in the group. People,
a bit lovely.
They really love the DS1 Nicole model over the DS2 Nicole model.
I think it was more of the voice.
That's not Nicole. That's Nicole's mom in Dead Space 2.
It's Nicole's mom.
Yeah.
Her mom hated the game.
My mom, your mom's good.
So she didn't allow Nicole to be
Your
Nicole.
Your mom's gonna hate Dead Space 2.
Oh my god.
And they call that they call that a fucking horror game.
What does that mean?
They call that a fucking horror game, but they market it towards being an action game.
Yes.
It's gonna make the person go insane.
Bruh. It's like, bruh, come on. You're gonna market it as a horror game, or you're gonna market it as a Die Hard extension? I mean, come on. Seriously.
Well, they haven't saw the Hunter yet. Oh my god.
Yeah. Speaking of extensions, how do you think they're gonna? They mentioned that they were gonna add some of the material from the spin-off stuff, not spin-off, but the extended material. So they're gonna add stuff.
The prequel?
You mean the
Yeah, the prequels. They're gonna reference they might reference Extraction a little more.
Oh man,
maybe
I would appreciate a severed parallel between Extraction and the original, so that there would be like a parallel. So you're visiting areas, like maybe go to the sewers again, like you did in Extraction.
Nah, depends on which situation. I think it
I
might
don't
work
mind
well
going
with
to-
chapter 6. Like, there are some wizards on the water treatment, so you need to go there as well. That could fit.
I don't mind that. Like, I don't mind if we don't go to the sewers, but I wouldn't mind going to there. Like, but if they don't do that, but just give us like subtle hints, like say for instance, I said in my video, like, what if they were to give us a segment where when you go into the ADS Canon, instead of like getting like an audio log or something like that, you just see a hand floating past the door, and that would be McNeil's hand from Dead Space Extraction, which would also pay homage.
I mean, it wouldn't be floating; it would be like stuck in the ground because there's still the needle.
Well, they could do that, but it could have dislodged when he ripped his arm off or something like that.
Or also like with the
when the arm decays, when the spear decays or the arm decays, sort of thing, it could just rip off and just start floating around in space. Like You could have that where it's like it just goes past the door to pay homage to that moment in Dead Space Extraction to reference that, or to pay homage to the original box art.
Yeah.
McNeil, we will miss you.
We never knew that would be McNeil's hand on the box art, did we? When we first saw it.
I mean, it
Right?
wasn't his either, because he had
I
the
mean, it was. It was.
yeah, but the thing is
I
that he
believe
had
it
that
was.
astronaut type suit, so to say.
It wasn't an astronaut suit. It was a surveying suit for, like, what do you call it?
Yeah, but it has a quite big
Downfall, like
semblance,
the survey
resemblance with the astronaut
astronaut.
suit. Regarding the
The
body,
astronaut suit is a DLC
Yeah.
suit.
Are you talking about the
And
suit from like the beginning of Downfall, where they're on Aegis
No,
7?
no.
He
We're
meant
talking about a
this.
DLC's. The astronaut suit is the DLC suit that looks similar to the advanced suit.
Regarding the helmet, but regarding the body, it looks similar with the surveillance suit that that were used for space.
If they were to
Situations.
redesign that suit, that would be amazing. Just to make it look more like the astronaut suit that looks like an astronaut suit.
Yeah, like
that
the
would
one
be
Ellie's
interesting.
wearing in 2 at the end.
Yeah.
Possibly.
The one with the bubble head sort of thing.
Yeah, it has like the glass instead of that weird jagged metal helmet
Yeah.
on it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
really nice.
that would be nice. Also, they could do as well some references to other characters that were presented, like, for example, if you go to the colony, Newman, the Sergeant Newman, or if you go to, I don't know, if you revisit what was it called? The hydroponics deck, you could, I don't know, find the body of the doctor that was
Got
was
cut in half.
grabbed from the tentacle.
Yeah.
That would quite be a good Easter egg as well, like a reference to Extraction.
Split in half down the middle.
I mean, we know that she died, and also,
Yeah.
fuck you, Mythologist.
Do you think that if they're gonna add the reference material, do you think they might add the cut necromorphs or the ones from Extraction? Like we might get the flyer or the
Man, that would be amazing.
That would be
if they did
amazing.
Yeah. What's the one that was in the vent? The vent one that was
Mega
cut
Vent?
from the game?
The flyer?
No, not the flyer.
Oh.
It was something else. It was kind of like a
The grabber, I
variant
think it was called.
No. Oh yeah, the grabber. But there was another one that was
Sim-
like a variant of the leaper. That was like it would have twice the length of the arm, a longer torso, and a longer tail.
Ugh.
Yeah, it was in the original demo for the game.
What was
where
it?
Oh, you mean the Xbox demo?
No, not that demo. Like the what do you call it? Where they would take it to people and be like, "Hey, have a look at this. Like, look what I made." You know, like not like, "Oh, here's a demo for the game." You know, because it's going to be part of the actual main game. No, the demo that the developers would pass around to each other so they could play it.
I know that there were two
the
types of
Like
developers builds.
early Dead Space.
Yeah, the dev
Early-
copy.
Yeah, but that wasn't for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360.
No,
that was
wasn't the demo
for the PS2 and Xbox.
It was basically early development gameplay sort of thing.
Yeah.
So you can still find the footage on YouTube at somewhere, but
That's crazy.
If it's the one that
Yeah.
I'm thinking you're referring, that wasn't built for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. That was for the previous generation of the consoles. That build. But still looked very fine. But nonetheless, well, regarding the lore, yeah, I hope they could do some references to the books, Extraction, and also some new type from like Earth. Like
Yeah. More info on Earth's,
There
you
we
know.
go.
yeah, like
Yeah.
seriously concerned about what the hell happened with the USG Shimura that we cannot contact them, or something like that.
Yeah.
yeah, that would. I would imagine that, as I say in my thing, I think it would. EarthGov did not know of the Ishimura being sent to Aegis 7. It was actually CEC that knew that stuff.
Yeah, and
you know,
as we know that
I
CSE
feel
is
like
affiliated with the
I feel like the
Surgical Mythology.
CEC. I feel like the CEC did not tell EarthGov because EarthGov still had Aegis 7 under lockdown from when they defeated the Sovereign Colonies, because they were more like, oh, well, if it was under lockdown because of the Sovereign Colonies, I wonder why. Like, maybe we should just leave it alone.
Well, with all, they did dispatch USM Valor to check in.
That's true. Well, the USM Valor only
Okay.
showed up because we launched that signal into space on the chunk of rock.
Hmm.
So other than that, they were just floating around the Cygnus system.
No, but that took time, so maybe that took time to reach them. So the USG Callion reached earlier than the beacon.
That's true.
I think the CEC sent the Killian, didn't they?
Yeah, they sent after they lost contact with the communication with USG Ishimura, so not after the beacon was launched.
Yeah, you're right. And then what is it? Kendra was the plant, the agency plant.
Where did the beacon actually end up?
No, they did receive it, but the thing is that the message was corrupted, possibly from the marker. Like some explanation about the footage of the colony, and so that and other stuff wasn't. So I think the final version was literally the intro of the downfall.
I hope that I hope we'll be able to find a video log of that in the game.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, from the model of
Elisa
Vincent from the model of Elisa Vincent from Dead Space Extraction, but with the voice of Elisa Vincent from Dead Space Downfall.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty good.
Kind of like how you could find Vandal's audio log into.
Oh yes, or those two.
Or just basically like what do you call it? Like an audio log that's just degraded and distorted.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. That would be really cool. Especially if you could hear like the slashes behind her while she's doing it. That would be amazing.
Yeah,
Or you should see the models of the slashers.
Oh, that would be even cooler if they
and then her going to the shuttle
button.
And then the video log will just interrupt when the doors will start to open up.
I don't think you should have that, because that's where the video log ended.
Yeah,
that would be nice.
It ended before she even hit
that's right. She ended the video.
Sure.
Yeah. So it'd be cool if they just had her like stare at the camera for just a couple of seconds and then boom, they're gone.
That
would be quite.
Because that's how the video log ends in Downfall.
I mean, that would be quite a good tribute to the Downfall, so to say.
Yeah, let's.
Well, speaking of,
what kind of microtransactions do you think will be in the game?
I think they will see packs. Probably, just like in Dead Space 1, suits.
They'll probably just be the suits. They'll be cosmetic. They won't have like the tank suit having the most armor. It'll probably just be cosmetic.
I think it will.
I'm kind of waiting for the boss the what do you call it? The boss skip button to be released into the microtransactions.
The easy fatality button.
Pay us $5 so you can skip a portion of the game.
This is an Ubisoft we're talking about.
No, this is the Electronic Arts.
Time savers. God, what a mistake.
Well, so far we got microtransactions, possibly cosmetic only.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at just getting new suits without benefits.
Yeah.
I would like new designs of suits, not reskin versions of level 5, so to say.
Well, they have more resources now.
No.
But give us suits that, what do you call it?
Are related to the lore. So
contribute to the lore, but also look amazing as well. So, but have no gameplay difference
impact.
at all.
Yeah.
No gameplay impact or anything like that. Unless it's a suit for you beat the game on the hardest difficulty. Well done. Here's a new suit that actually does something.
Here's the EarthGov suit from Dead Space 2.
Oh god.
I think I'm trying to think of the other suits that we saw that weren't available in the game because I know the survey suit from when they're on EJ7 that would be a cool suit because you would be able to see Isaac's face through the visor. Um,
Well,
I'm thinking.
I mean, we might see Isaac's face, but we'll talk about it later on.
That's
Who
true.
might be that?
I really hope they don't do the same thing with Dead Space 2, like where the helmet just detaches and we see Isaac's face while in a cutscene, but we don't see it anywhere else unless it's like a quick time event. It's like,
You weren't a fan of
bruh,
the unfolding helmet. You like the helmets being
no,
pulled off.
yeah. I
The
feel like
helmet
it would have
stays
been
on
better if it was just like
always.
I prefer it more like a motorbike helmet sort of thing
Yeah.
than the Iron Man thing because Iron Man came out
I
prior
did
to
like
that, so.
the
I mean, Iron Man
the
came out in 2008. I mean, StarCraft
I
2,
mean, you can see
it
a
was inspired.
yeah.
direct link between how Iron Man's helmet comes off throughout all of Marvel films
Ah, yes.
compared to Dead Space. And also Halo 4 did it as well. Halo 4 did it with the Didact, where his helmet just detaches
Like a
and
nano,
reattaches.
yeah.
Well, but at least on that
Yeah.
aspect, because they are forerunners, so
Yeah.
can be
Yeah, because
understandable.
they're highly advanced, so you would imagine that they would have stuff like that, like where the metal just crawls over the skin and
Yeah,
Yes.
completely
like the nanotech
becomes a
and
helmet.
yeah.
Yeah, like but with Dead Space, it's like we're not even that highly advanced. I mean, we're more advanced than we are now,
Well,
but
26th
I would
century,
imagine.
it's quite
Like
advanced.
if you look at like people back in the 1970s would imagine that we would be like in
Flying cars.
floating cities, flying cars, all that stuff. But we're not even there yet. Like,
Do you realize how impractical flying cities and flying cars would
well,
be?
yeah, but it's from people's imagination, isn't it,
Yeah.
of how they would have thought back then. But like, the thing I was getting on about was more like just because like you're in the future doesn't mean you could be even more advanced than you were, sort of thing. So there's still going to be a little bit like of normal life there as well. Like
Like
normal
yeah,
like as in normal life sort of thing here.
like things are good, but they're advanced in a very impractical way.
I would imagine that if we got to the 24th century, sort of cities and roads and all that would be kind of like how Batman Beyond does it. I feel like they
Oh,
did a pretty good job at actually grounding it, so it actually doesn't look too futuristic.
the nanosuit. I think the suit from the
Not
Batman
not
Beyond
the
was.
not specifically the suits, just more of the architecture of the city and the roads and all that stuff. Like it's all metal and all that stuff, but it still looks modern if you get what I mean. It doesn't look futuristic that much.
I wonder if they are going to make a new series of Batman Beyond.
No, that'd be good.
That would be nice.
Yeah,
I mean, they
that'd be
did
really
mention it
cool.
in the Just Unlimited Justice League series. I think it was literally at the ending, so say, I don't know.
And it was interesting that Batman Beyond was so widely accepted because it used a completely different voice actor than the original Batman voice actor. So it was like a teenage kid.
I don't think I did. I think I used the same voice actor for Bruce that they did for the last series of the animated series of Batman.
Yeah, like Bruce is still the same voice actor, but the person playing Batman, like in Batman Beyond,
Oh
is
yeah, like
a completely
Terry.
it's a
Yeah.
completely
Ah, Terry
Terry is a completely
Crews.
different character.
Oh
Terry
yeah.
Crews.
Well, yeah, because Batman's old now, so he wouldn't be able to do all the stuff he used to be able to do.
Yeah.
Even gets explained in the show.
Yeah, it's
Like he
explained in
actually
the Justice League series that
he's about to
Terry is a
actually
clone.
he's actually about to use a gun. You know. And that's why he decided to give up the mantle.
And then
Because
Terry finds out.
because he got that vulnerable where he actually had to consider using a weapon to actually shoot and kill somebody or to disarm them.
Spoiler alert.
So
Uh,
that's where he kind of gave that up.
Yeah.
Speaking of people who are not the original voice actors, we got a nice surprise in the reveal stream that Isaac Clarke is going to be voiced by Gunnar Wright again.
Yeah.
And
Gunnar Wright will be returning to Dead Space.
And
cannot understate how excited and crazy everybody got in the server when he showed
don't
up on
remind me
stream.
that.
Everybody lost their shit, and it was really nice to see him
At least
again.
that's a good news because, like I mentioned before regarding Nicole, that's why I said that Sonya Clark might return as well.
Yeah.
I don't want Gunnar Wright to come back. I want James Earl Jones to play Isaac Clarke.
You don't understand. Troy Baker has to voice everybody in the game.
Poor Troy Baker.
No,
I want to
James Earl Jones. So we get the voice of Darth Vader and Mufasa in the game.
let's have
Mufasa
Lance Reddick. I mean, I wonder if they're going to contact the old voice actors for the roles of Hammond, Kendra, and the rest.
I can tell you now that there's a very high chance that the Hammond voice actor will return because
if
he's
doesn't
a
return,
high-profile celebrity.
If he doesn't return, there's gotta be Lance Reddick.
Lance Reddick would be perfect as Hammond.
Can you imagine him saying, "We stepped in the war with the necromorphs aboard the Yoshi Shimura"?
Oh my gosh!
In all seriousness, no, I have no problem with Gunnar Wright being returning, sort of thing.
I mean, if there's going to be another one, if Isaac was going to be voiced, it should be by the original voice actor.
What's crazy is now he's like almost the same age as Isaac now, so
yeah,
not really.
Pretty fitting.
No, I think Gunnar Wright on is like 40.
In Dead Space,
40-ish.
In Dead Space 1, in Dead Space 1, you'll learn this from my videos, of the history of Isaac Clarke. He's actually 43 in Dead Space 1. And he's, I think he's 46 in Dead Space 2. Then he's like 49 or 50, around about 50 years old in Dead Space 3.
Yeah.
I mean, what's interesting about Dead Space 1 Isaac's face is that he looks like Ben Wennett, but has the voices of Gunnar Wright, like the screams, the grunts. Also that that hive mind scream. Oof.
Oh yeah, jeez, that scream.
But the face was of Ben Wennett.
Yeah, so they'll probably do the mocap since since he's coming back. It'll be Gunnar's face.
I mean, if they're going to remake everything.
Yeah.
But what's going to be interesting is that I don't know how they will make Isaac talk. Like, they didn't state, well, they did mention that he will talk only when spoken by other characters, so basically when he gets contacted by Hammond or Kendra. And on situation that might be weird that he wouldn't comment, at least about it. Like, for example, in Chapter 2, the doctor that I was screaming for help, or the situation that, I don't know, where he sees Nicole or hears voices.
I would like it if you would be like, hang on a minute, I'll help you, and then all of a sudden, boom, his head explodes. It's just like...
Yeah.
Or like...
I'm trying!
Try harder next time.
Like, kind of like an interaction you would see in the Saw movies, like, where someone was like... You would do something to try and help, but... At the end of the day, they would just die anyway, so...
I'll be more intriguing about...
I saw 3D, like, where he's like, you stupid bitch, all you had to do was shut up. Or, like, the one where was like, no, I failed. She's impaled now. Oh, shit.
I'll be more interested about how he's going to really talk to Dr. Mercer. That'll be my intriguing part.
Yeah.
How he's going to be his reaction to Dr. Mercer and how he's going to respond to him.
Is he going to be angry? Is he going to be scared?
Yeah, because since throughout Chapter 5, the main antagonist is Dr. Mercer. So say.
Oh, but the thing is, I kind of had a point in my videos. It's like, with certain voice logs, you can hear, like, Dr. Mercer doing stuff to other people and all that stuff. So if Isaac collects those and listens to them, that could impact his voice line quite dramatically.
Every time
Like,
that
say
he
for
meets
instance,
him.
he's worked out in his head that Dr. Mercer has been killing people, so therefore he would kind of be sort of disgusted in him, kind of pissed at him, sort of thing. But if you didn't collect those audio logs, he would just have a neutral voice line.
Don't.
So like I would like it if there was sort of like a deviating voice line sort of path for
Yeah.
those sort of things. It would only happen if you like the game would only allow it to happen if you have that in your inventory.
I don't know what game will. I don't know example of this. I don't know the Witcher games or the Star Wars,
I would say
the Old
a loose
Republic.
example is in like GTA 5 when if you start a mission and there's a conversation in the car and then you end up either failing the mission or dying before they finish their dialogue, sometimes it switches up. So they do like multiple takes of conversations. So I have a feeling like you could do something similar where the like he said, the dialogue deviates based on how much information you find beforehand.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That would be quite interesting. Well, we just have to wait to see if we get contacted by EA Motive to be part of the community. I mean, that would be interesting. I know.
I doubt it. Like we haven't even got 10K subs between the three of us. So
Yeah, but our content compared to theirs.
it doesn't. Really, I don't think it matters for them with content. I would imagine it just matters about the numbers. You know.
I mean
Like,
that's true. That's true.
If you're a well-known actor, you're going to be dropped because you're well-known. Like say for instance, if I had to pick two actors to be in a podcast with me, would I pick the most well-known one, or would I pick the one that isn't well-known?
You
I
picked
would pick the one that's well-known.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, it's a numbers game on YouTube. You know, more numbers, more recognition, more people want to be your friend and all that stuff, and do collaborations with you.
Yeah.
You know, so that sort of stuff.
I mean,
yeah, that's true.
Nobody wants to collaborate.
It's logical. It's logical. Like someone in my chat was like saying, "Hey, you should do a Dead Space stream with what's his face, Raging Golden Eagle or something like that."
Hey?
And I looked at his sub count and I was like, "Yeah, that's never gonna happen, mate." I mean, like, yeah, sure enough, he wants somebody to join him. I did tweet at him just in case, but like.
He didn't respond.
Yeah, that's never gonna happen, mate, because he's got nearly 100K subs. I've got less than 10,000K. So it's like he's just gonna look at me like he's a god and I'm a fucking ant. You know?
Yeah, and then afterwards when you play with him,
he's not gonna be interested. He's not gonna be interested. Simple as that can be.
Yeah.
So and he's still not interested. It's like when I contacted Rono Gaming and Installation 00 about my audiobook series. Like. They said, "Oh yeah, I'll watch it and give you some feedback." And yeah, when I get around to it, I'll watch it. They still haven't watched it.
Yeah.
And that was like last November. It's like, come on, bro.
Well, I mean, it's like there's a lot of stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts because I know he's a medical student still. I think.
I get that, but like it was like a 20-minute video.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Easily just play that in the background. I was pissed off at the time, and I did call him out for it. But
that happens.
Then again, like
it happens.
Then again, he said he was interested in working with me on that. But then again, I back then I didn't even have 500 subs back then. I had literally 350. So it's very much if you have a similar sized audience to the person you want to collaborate with, you'll have the better chance of collaborating with that person. Like they will see that you're worth collaborating with, rather than if you're not a part of that bubble. If you get what I mean. If you're underneath that bubble, then unfortunately you will have a very hard time of trying to convince that person to collaborate with you. It's like I tried to collaborate with someone that I enjoyed watching called Versus, where it was Josh Jepson versus Attacking Toucans, where they would start at the beginning of a game and then work their way through the game to try and beat each other to the end. You know, with two gameplays on the screen, dual commentary, very funny, very awesome, very engaging sort of thing. I wanted to be a part of that, and he was like, "Sorry, we don't allow fans to jump in there with us. It's like, are you fucking kidding me?
I feel like it's easier. It's easier when you have like when it's like a
So
niche community like this.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's easier to
but
collaborate.
but the funny thing is, yeah, that they would actually invite other people onto the thingy with them to do freeway versuses or 2v2 versus. It's just like seriously.
But it was about the sub count, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
a
it's all
sub
about
count. So
numbers.
like that's where I lose a lot of respect for a lot of YouTubers that just do it that way.
Yeah,
Which kinda
but
really
from
annoys
their
me.
perspective,
It should be. I don't think it should be sub count. I think it should be personality that because you could have a really good personality with someone, yeah, that's funny, engaging, and all that stuff, but they have a small sub count. So
Yeah.
if you're just going to focus on one aspect of somebody's like sort of career on YouTube, yeah, then you could actually have a really good partnership with that person, and they could actually add something even better to your channel, like a business deal sort of thing, a business move. But if you're just going to focus on one aspect of that person, yeah, then what's the point?
Cross
No.
promotion.
So I don't see it as a numbers game. Like if I didn't see it as a numbers game like them, like yeah, do you think I would be here right now?
I mean, it depends as well
No
if you're
offense,
lucky and
like,
everything.
like if I was like that, because I really despise that sort of thing. I would prefer to collaborate with literally anyone that has like over 100 subs or something
Oh
like that.
hell
If,
yeah!
Or at least
if they were like,
or at
if
least
they
if
were
you
like,
see that he has serious content as well.
Yeah.
yeah, like like.
Well, I'm in the wrong place because I don't have serious content at all.
Like
yeah, but you have the
like,
community
what do you mean?
videos.
What do you call it? Like I would collaborate with people that like were within like sort of same thing that I wanted to do, but I would also collaborate with people with kind of like similar personalities and something like that. Really, like certain attributes, not just oh yeah, he's got a big sub count, so I'll do that so I get a lot more exposure on this channel on this thing me. I never discriminate against someone's sub count. That's basically what I'm trying to say.
You're about to hit 5K, aren't you? Or is it more than that now? Last time I checked, you were at almost 5K.
I think it's almost close to 5K.
It's near 4.7 now.
Yeah, I mean, I just hit 1,000 last week, so it was like, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I like my growth to be more natural, so I don't do that bullshit like I don't know in the video like go like, comment, subscribe. Nah, I don't like that shit.
No, I don't do that.
Yeah, like
if you want to see my
that whole thing
content,
as well.
you're gonna see the content, and I'm not gonna make an intro in which I'm going to tell you to subscribe to me.
I do like I make it like a like what do you call it, like a gimmick, like sign up to join the British Alliance today, like sort of thing, like it's like you're at a like I'm speaking to you through a fucking poster, sort of thing, like they do, like I want you in the military.
I want
Sign
you for
up
the
today
Southern
at your
Colony.
nearest recruiting station, which I actually have on my Twitter, of Isaac pointing to the person and saying, "I want you part of the British Alliance." Like.
I mean, me
Actually go to my Twitter
on
and look at
that aspect, I don't literally need. I mean, I'm part of the Dead Space Necro posting, so all the stuff I do for the community, and as well when there are other stuff, I'll do for me. But sometimes I do collaborations. I mean, I have Engineer here. Sadly, that body counter wasn't able to join today.
Yeah,
but
that's unfortunate.
Yeah, with the work and everything.
But the reason I was just going on about like I wasn't really bitching and moaning about other YouTubers or anything like that. So no one tried to start any drama between me and Rono because my channel will not survive. Okay, I think we all can.
No, it's perfectly reasonable to be upset.
I mean, it'd probably be like that movie 300 where we survived for literally like 2 hours of the movie, and then in the last 30 minutes we're like, oh shit, a whole volley of arrows. Yeah. So
I mean, rarely there are situations in which the little guy wins over the big guy.
It's just mainly like, what do you call it? The like when you said, oh yeah, when we get invited onto the podcast with them, it's like, yeah, bro, that's never going to happen because we don't have the numbers that they are looking for. That's the only reason that they got those two on, because that guy is from IGN, I believe, or GameSpot, and that girl is a huge streamer sort of thing. So obviously, that was another reason to have them on,
I
along
mean,
with the diversity
yeah, I mean
as well.
for the normal viewership, no, not normal
I mean,
viewership.
it doesn't matter.
I mean,
It doesn't matter how big of a fan you are. You would never get put onto that podcast just because you're a big fan of the series. I mean, like, let's be fair. I don't think that streamer is such a big fan as she like claims to be, sort of thing.
she did her job
I
better
don't.
than the other guy.
Yeah, she did a good job on it, but like, I'm not gonna like. Who's to say that she is the biggest fan of Dead Space? You know what I mean?
Nah, I didn't. I didn't do that.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you know, like, I'd never even heard of that girl before the podcast.
Me either. But at least
So it's just
she
like
did better
I literally
job than
said
the other guy.
I literally said this in my reaction. I was like, I'm sorry, who the fuck are you? You know, like, you know. I was literally like, I've never seen these two individuals before in my life.
Yeah.
I like how he made sure to put he put his Xbox fridge in the background there. I don't know, like, does that really make? I mean,
Why?
like, if you're a popular streamer,
is it?
you know, like if you're a gamer, I don't feel like you don't have to have a setup where you put all of your merchandise in the background. And
Oh
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah. I don't understand that at all. Like, why?
Like,
That's so.
If it
I
were
mean, I
to
get
me,
it. Like, you want people to buy your shit. You're gonna market it by, oh yeah, here's my desk behind me. I've got
yeah,
I got a nice little, you know, teddy bear that I made for you guys. I've made like a little model over there. Got your nice little cup for your bean soup with my logo on it. Yeah.
of course. I mean,
Is
yeah,
it-
like, yeah. When my camera,
What did he say in the podcast? It was like, oh yeah, like dangle your limbs or some shit like that.
I don't know. For me, I literally lost interest in what that guy says because the girl
it
was
just-
making better statements than the guy.
she was asking the actual questions.
Yeah, he didn't seem very interested, to be fair.
No.
Yeah, they just needed a big
Right.
personality.
But when he said like dangle your limbs, I was like, bruh.
Like,
No one. I've never heard anyone say, "Oh yeah, dangle your limbs." Just like, I get it. Like you, like, because you know you can see like when you shoot the elbow, it looks like the arm is dangling by a thread. But like, come on, that's never gonna catch on.
It's a bit of a
Yeah.
stretch.
It's not like you're gonna see a meme like come out and be like, Isaac, you have to dangle the limbs. You know, like, no, I'm not gonna.
oh no.
Shooting on the
No,
body
that's-
didn't seem to work. You
Don't-
gotta dangle the limbs.
Don't remind me of my video of the Nicole. A bit of dangling.
I mean, like, you could make a meme out of Doom Eternal, like rip and tear, you know, like something like that for Dead Space.
Until it jingles.
But dangle their limbs. What the fuck are you talking about, you fucking university student that just came out?
Like
before
what?
he knows
He
everything
cut up
about the
his
world?
limb and he's
Fucking
feeling a bit
idiot.
of tickling below or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just like
It was a bit weird, honestly, but I was more for
yeah, it was,
for the game content.
For the content. Listen, I just whatever I get an idea, I make it. I really don't care if it does well or not because it's something I think is funny. Like half the stuff that I actually make for the channel is just weird, just ideas I get in my head. I just put it right up because I
Yeah.
really don't care because I'm making it for me.
Well,
the fact that I have
that's-
subs is nice, but
Well, that's how I felt about Avernus when I was doing the Halo versus Dead Space series, like for the audiobook. I would just basically just like I'll put down whatever I was thinking because the biggest flaw of that was every single episode I would just improvise into the story, so I just make it up as I go along.
Oh, you didn't have the script.
No. I had to write scripts every time I wanted to make a new episode, so
yeah.
like that's why I cancelled it because I was just like, ugh.
Yeah.
Chapter 7's so boring and nothing's happening. We're just character building. That's why I feel like I might return to audiobook style stuff, yeah. But with the lore of Dead Space, as a pre-front, so there's that story. I don't have to build the characters up
You already have
because
the
they're already
story.
built up in the game. They're
Yeah.
already built up in the games, man, so I don't have to deal with any of that.
Well, at least you can.
I had a similar idea for the text logs. I was gonna layer like chapter specific music over the text logs and then read them, but it's just a lot of work. And I have to
And
really,
also, you
yeah.
need
I
to
don't
check out
think
as well about the copyright.
That's
There are
true.
some
Yeah.
songs from Dead Space that the YouTube algorithm will catch out.
The soundtrack
I
actually is
I
not
think it will.
it's royalty free because every time I've played through Dead Space 2,
Yeah.
I haven't gotten copyright claimed even with the end credits
Oh,
song.
Except
it's
except the AI
credit songs are
section.
copyrighted.
The what?
The AI section. There's a segment
There's
of
a
AI
that
section.
in which
Really?
you get yes.
Huh.
Yeah, I did have that issue
What
on
section is
my
that?
the chapter 7, the solar array. The AI that talks to you when you have to destroy the security. Well, the middle ground or the middle area where you need to lower the security doors so you
Yeah.
can access the
Yeah.
mainframe to destroy it. Well, that
Oh, so
AI
the
voice
this.
gives you a copyright
Oh
claim
wow.
because that voice is used
Okay.
only in a song.
Okay, I was gonna say because like all of the soundtrack in Dead Space 2, 3, and 1 are actually copyright free because I use them. It's the same thing as the Halo soundtrack. They're from the original trilogy is all copyright free. So
It's an original score.
yeah, so
Soundtrack.
like it's all copyright free for some reason. Don't know if someone at EA messed up really badly there, but
No, it's
it's all
the
free.
YouTube algorithm that if someone makes a song and uses some section from I don't know one game, then they claim it, so to say, and then the YouTube sends you a copyright claim. But that guy that used that segment from a game,
Yeah.
quite bullshit. But
What
that's the
song
situation.
what song is the voice from then?
I don't know. I mean, the voice is from the game, but the song uses that voice in some sections.
Oh, I got that with a copyright claim on my Dead Space stream where someone took the actual the trailer of Dead Space and put it in their song. So whenever it goes to the Dead Space, what do you call it? Thingy? Whenever it goes to when you sit at the menu for too long and it goes to that trailer, like
Okay.
you will get a copyright claim because AdRev are assholes who do not understand the concept of
No, but that's bot. That's the
fair
YouTube
use
bots.
and all that stuff.
Yeah.
No, because like one thing I got, I actually emailed them, and they said, "Oh no, that's a license, man. You need to get a license, my friend." And then they later on saw how they fucked up, so they're like, "Oh, okay, we're not going to get rid of the collect. We're just going to let it expire for you." Just like, but if that was my income, you see how devastating that would have been to my income.
Yeah, I mean, for the
So
for
you
the little
still, so you
YouTubers,
just,
that's complicated, but for the bigger ones, it's easier because they
yeah,
have literary
yeah,
contact
like,
number.
They have Patreon.
yeah, exactly. So like, what do you mean you're just going to let it expire? It's either that you don't have anything against my content, or you do.
They
You can't just go in the middle
got
ground and go.
they do get income,
You
but
can't
it's
just
not the
milk
same.
it. You can't just milk my content for like whatever, for like until the end of the month. You can just it's either that you have a problem with it or you don't have a problem with it. Either one.
I mean, they will try
Yeah.
to fix it, but they won't prioritize that much compared to a big YouTuber. It's not the same because the income is different. For them, it's more important to fix the issue of a big content creator that gives him a lot of income compared to a little one.
Yeah.
I mean, they will fix it afterwards, but not as fast.
Should we?
But that
should we wrap
happens.
this up?
But that happens on all businesses, so it's not something new.
Helios.
Yeah, we could finish it here. I mean, other than that, there isn't that much stuff that was mentioned in the stream.
Yeah. the next time hopefully we'll have Body Counter with us and we can discuss more like in-depth stuff about what we liked about the games, maybe discuss favorite weapons, suits, and stuff like that.
We could talk about
That'd be great.
We could be talking about games in general as well.
Yeah, that
Doesn't
too.
need to be Dead Space Remake. So yeah.
This was the first of hopefully many.
Or we could actually do something a little bit different and actually react to other people's reactions on the thingy. Like, say, for instance, Pat's videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Like, with his review of it, then we can actually give our own little criticism and that sort of thing. If people would like to see that.
Oh, wow.
If people would like to see that, like, we make this a reoccurring thing where we actually do look at big names in the community and actually see, okay, so this is what this guy is saying. How do we feel about this? You know.
Well, and if you want to do if you like the idea of doing the verses, I wouldn't mind doing that if you ever wanted to do that, because that's pretty fun. I've done that. Before.
Yeah. Well, I would say you'd have to have a capture card, all that stuff, you know, or like depending on which console you'll be playing on.
That'll be interesting.
We can talk about that later, though.
Well,
yeah, of course.
That'll be all. Yeah, that will be a wrap. So
hopefully next time we'll be talking about more stuff. I'll talk to you guys later.
Yeah, meanwhile, I'm gonna explore. I'm gonna explore the ship. Let's see if I can reach the colony, return the marker, and I don't know about you. What you gonna do?
I'm gonna go get my force gun from the shop. It's getting cleaned and tuned up right now.
Just grab my contact beam and just head back to my ship then.
Yeah, but the thing is that your ship is crashed, and I had to take the shock point drive. So
I can't do to repair it.
No, I took the shock point drive.
Nah, I think I can repair it.
Well, if the asshole from above us will let us access the deck,
or
the executive deck.
Or maybe I'll just float around in space and wait for a few weeks and then wait until EarthGov shows up and picks me up, takes me back to the sprawl.
Well, it depends. I might pick you up after I get attacked by dementia. That will be a plan.
I would rather just chill in my ship without having Nicole haunt me and stuff. Although I would love to see a whole model of the necromorph version of Nicole at the end of Dead Space 1.
Oh yes.
I really want to see that.
I can try to get it.
Oh please, that would be very disturbing and very cool. Unless it's just going to look like that meme from the Dead Space Speedrunning thing where you see like a split frame of Nicole's face just after you complete the machine part in Dead Space 2.
I think I do have.
You're not supposed to see her face, but she looks kind of constipated. Let's just be fair.
I mean, I think I do have a video in Necroposting. I just need to see it. Just need to search it. And if not, I'm gonna use the debug build because I still need to get some footage for the podcast. So yeah.
Anyway, it's been lovely.
Yeah.
But I've got to go.
Let's call it a day.
I have a date with a 6-year-old game. Anyone get that reference?
I did not understand that, Chungus.
That was. I mean, like I could have said like what Chucky actually does say.
I got a date with a 6-year-old.
No, it's like, oh, it's been fun, John, but I've got to go. I've got a date with a 6-year-old boy.
Oh yeah, that's
right. It's like, what the fuck? You know, like, what kind of? That's fucking weird as hell, man.
Different time, to be sure.
Oh yes.
6 dear. I like it.
Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. And I'll see you next time.
See ya.